Handoff, Damian Williams trying to get to the edge, breaks a tackle, 35, 30, Damian Williams, 20, stays in bounds, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Kansas City. Damian Williams runs to immortality and will be remembered forever in the Chiefs' kingdom.
Tiamu stays on his feet, and he whistles one complete for a first down to Alonzo Russell.
Good snap, good place. The kick is up. It is long enough, and it is a Missouri winner. The thicker kicker connects.
I had no doubt. He's nails in practice. He's been nails all day.
I know that she will. She know what the drill. I got her sucking on my python. I'm ballin' like I'm a matter. Wait, I'm on the matter. These niggas know that I'm at it. Talking that shit and that shit get tragic. I got some niggas that let it get active. You know that I'm fly, I'm calling them maggots. These bitches love me cause I'm so attractive. I roll with dimes, they calling me magic. These bitches love me, they calling me master.
Woo! That was Le'Veon Bell's rap. Why? Because we're going to the Super Bowl for the second straight year. And what better way to celebrate than listening to your own players rap? I'm joined by Connor as always. Connor, your initial thoughts on Le'Veon Bell's rap?
I love how you picked the player on the team that raps that didn't even play. You know, we have two of them, and one of them actually played well today, and the other didn't, and you picked the one that didn't play.
Yes.
Interesting decision.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I might play Bashaud Breeland's rap for the outro. We had the Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Buffalo Bills 38-24 to advance to the Super Bowl to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this game honestly was pretty smooth outside of the little 9-0 run that scared us at the beginning. It was almost looking like a replay of the AFC divisional round last year with the Texans. It was like, oh no, here we go, disasters. Mecole Hardman fumbles on the kick returns. You know what? Let's just start with that. Can we get Mecole Hardman off special teams? I think that once and for all lost Hardman his spot on special teams because they had been playing with fire all year long, continuing to throw him back there. He never really showed anything to me. And then today he has a costly mistake. Right down there, like around the 1 yard line, that let the Bills take a lead at the beginning. So I don't know about you, Connor, but I'm pretty sure you agree with me. Getting McColl's ass off special teams. He's
a liability. You know, like occasionally he'll have a decent return, but when you give a touchdown to the other team, dude, you're trash. Get off the field. Like I've said it before, you know, a lot of times people will say, you know, it's kind of the couch quarterback, you know, like, oh, I could do better than that. Well, I legitimately think that we would have a better average starting field position if I was the starting return man, because I would just fair catch it every time. And that's something that I've said a lot about Mecole. And my main problem with him was always starting field position. But now when he needs to fair catch it, he tries to take it out and gives the touchdown to the opponent. That's an even bigger problem.
Yeah, I don't understand why they continue throwing back there. I think Pringle should have that spot. I think he should handle returns and kickoffs. Hopefully that's not too big of a load for him with Watkins. I think coming back for the Super Bowl. I'm not sure, but I think he'll be back for the Super Bowl. You know, it's crazy to say that, and I'm just going to start with saying this. I know we already started with something else, but I just want to say that and I said this to you, Connor, but it just hit me like a couple of days ago. Like the Chiefs are playing for a second straight Super Bowl. Like I didn't even think I would see one Chiefs Super Bowl in my lifetime, let alone 2 straight appearances and at least 1 win, regardless of what happens in this year's Super Bowl. Like it's a great time to be a Chiefs fan.
Only if we win. Yeah, dude, I don't think I can take losing to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, but yeah, dude, it's wild to even be here.
Yeah, it's crazy, and we'll get into kind of previewing a little bit of the matchup, but let's just go over the game. So, I'll start with the offense. Mahomes was fantastic, 29-38 for 325 and 3 touchdowns, and let's give credit to our skills players today. McCole Hardman, despite his terrible fumble on returns, had a really nice run for 50 yards that set up one of our scoring drives. Tyreek Hill, 9 receptions for 172 yards. Travis Kelce, 13 catches for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's crazy production out of our skills position players.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of to be expected. You know, I've said before that I fully believe that Mahomes, Kelce, and Tyreek is the greatest offensive trio in the history of the game. And, you know, McCole got burned bad. So he had to make up for his miscue that we mentioned earlier. So, of course, he had to ball out.
Yeah, definitely. And Darryl the Barrel, what I now call him.
You're really pushing that, aren't you?
Yes. 13 carries for 52 yards and a touchdown. Looked very, very solid. And I call him Darryl the Barrel because all the dude does is get first downs and fall forward. I love him. And honestly, as a huge Le'Veon Bell stan, it pains me to say this, but I think Darrell Williams is probably our best running back. And yes, even over Clyde. Clyde had 6 carries today, and I know it was his first game back from injury. He had 6 carries for only 7 yards, a 1.2 yard per carry average. He did have the touchdown credit there. But Darrell, to me, like, fans love to talk about how, you know, the run blocking's terrible. And yeah, I agree. Our run blocking, not great, but it seems like the other running backs on our roster, including Darrell, Le'Veon in spurts, Darwin Thompson, week 17, if you really want to throw that in there. They look great. Even despite our bad run blocking per se, while Clyde still continues to not really move the needle too much for me. And I might sound like a hater. A lot of people are not fans of my stance on Clyde, but I just feel like, to me, he hasn't been that impressive. And when you have guys like Darryl the Barrel on our roster absolutely killing it with what he has to work with, I kind of get concerned.
Oh, yeah. People just like Clyde because he's the first-round draft pick. You know, you want to assume that they're doing the right thing with the first-round draft pick. That's why they like Clark, because Clark was the big-ticket acquisition. But if you look at the film, you know, it's clear that Clyde is painfully average. That's the best way I can describe him. And Darryl is very clearly just as good, if not better. So it was a waste of a first rounder. But hey, if we win the Super Bowl, I don't know how much of a waste was it, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's what I always say is, like, when you can talk about overpaying for guys like Clark, you can talk about reaching for guys like Clyde, but as long as you're still winning the Super Bowl, it doesn't really matter. But I still, you know, I can still be critical of the moves. So yeah, I mean, that's the fun of being a fan and having debates and stuff like that. I mean, Clyde is not all that impressive to me. Now, you know, the jury's still out on him for me. Like, if we get a very improved O-line next year and Clyde has still a similar year, then I'm going to be like, well, what'd you really spend the first round pick on then? But we'll see. He's got a big game ahead of him to try and prove me wrong. So, and that goes for everyone on roster, except for Frank Clark, which we'll get into in a little bit. I wanted to shout out Byron Pringle again, because he had a really nice catch. He had 3 catches for 22 yards, which seems small, but he seemed to come up clutch. And he's someone that, again, was never very high on, but he just seems to be very good in his role, and he always steps up when asked to.
I felt like the entire team today, right?
Yeah. I mean, me and you kind of predicted that, like, you know, it would be the same as every Chiefs game. They start out slow, which they did start out slow, but then they take a sizable lead, then let the Bills back in. Then they have to, like, go out and get a couple first downs, some Mahomes magic, and the game's over. Now, the Chiefs did start out slow, and then they took a sizable lead. But after they took the sizable lead, they made the lead even bigger and never looked back. And, you know, I said that, you know, I had doubts that this team truly could flip a switch like everyone says they can. I wasn't sure if that was a real thing. or if they truly were just having a tough time against these mediocre opponents. But I saw it in the Cleveland Browns game. Like, I saw the potential there before Mahomes went down. But this time we got Mahomes for a whole game, and boy, was it good. We scored 38 points in a playoff game, and Mahomes goes for over 303 touchdowns. And I got to say, the play calling from Andy Reid in this game was really good too.
If we're being real, we could have scored more easily. We really took our foot off the gas late, so we needed to score more, we always could. So that's nice to know. Which
I was fine with considering the injuries from this game. Now, one of the big ones, and I'll start this since it's on the offense, Eric Fisher goes down with
oh no.
Oh God. Eric Fisher goes down with an Achilles injury.
Oh no, our garbage tackle isn't going to play in the Super Bowl. What are we going to do?
Now, as everyone knows, Connor is one of Fisher's biggest haters, so he doesn't mind too much. Personally, how I feel is Fisher
sucks.
He's very, very streaky. Not as streaky as Irving was, where his like bad streaks are really bad. Although, well, actually, you could argue that. It's debatable. I don't know. Anyways, what I'm going to say is I am confident Mike Remmers can step in and fill that left tackle spot effectively, especially with 2 weeks of preparation. Now, what I'm worried about is the right
translation for the audience.
Go ahead.
Translation for the audience. He's agreeing with me. He's just being nice about it.
Yeah, Fisher sucks. There you go. That's what everyone wanted to hear.
Much better.
But
don't beat around the bush.
The concern now would be the right side of the line, because actually, hold on. Fisher sucks, okay? Because listen, people are like, look, they went undefeated last year with him. They're 21 or 26-1 over that time span with Fisher. Wins are not a left tackle stat. Let me start off with that. Secondly, Fisher was like bottom 3 this year in blown pass blocks, like well over 30. So I just want to throw that in there. Stat from Sports Info Solutions. You can get it from there and look at it for yourself. I'm dead serious. Anyways, I'm not worried about the left side now. I'm worried about the right side because Remmers was already the backup to Schwartz, who was on the right. Now we have the backup to the backup on the right, which I think will be Andrew Wiley. And we saw that a Remmers Wiley lineup in that game against the Saints when Fisher was out with a back injury, and it was kind of rough. But the Bucks pass rush, it hasn't been as good as the Saints pass rush this year, so that's at least something going for us. But we still won that game too. So it sucks that we have to improvise a little bit, but I'm not worried at all.
Well, what we saw today with the Buccaneers and Packers is Rodgers got pressured a lot from the tackle. And, I think it was JPP was working on Billy Turner and Shaq Barrett was working on Rick Wagner.
Yeah.
And both of them really got worked all day. And I don't know about you, but I feel more comfortable with Mike Remmers protecting Mahomes' blindside than Eric Fisher. And I think that Mahomes is going to get the ball off quicker than Rodgers did, especially with him knowing, hey, my backup tackles are out there. So it's going to be in the back of his mind that he needs to get the ball off quick. So,
well, and it's harder for someone like Rodgers, who's had the luxury to stand back in the pocket and have all day to throw all year long, and then to just all of a sudden have pressure coming from both of your sides the entire game. Mahomes has had to deal with that crap all year. I mean, he's being pressured on 20.6% of his dropbacks. Aaron Rodgers faced the lowest pressure rate in the league, so it's not like this is nothing Mahomes has ever seen before.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl last year, Nick Bosa worked Fisher all night.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa was harassing Mahomes all night. So, I mean, I feel like it's more or less going to be business as usual for Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Just, he's going to have the mentality of, I don't have any time. At par for the course.
Yeah, definitely. I can totally agree with that. There's not much that needs to be said about the offense. I thought they had an overall fantastic game. I mean, Yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to add to the offensive portion of the game?
Hopefully they look better when Sammy and Le'Veon finally come back.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I love the fact that Sammy is coming back and Le'Veon, and I think Le'Veon will definitely want to show out in the Super Bowl. And same with Watkins, of course, who should probably be healed up. And the thing is if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we had Watkins for that Buccaneers game. I could be wrong. That might have been his first game back, or he might not have played. I would have to look. But if he didn't, that's good news for us, because that means we can get out more looks that we didn't have since we didn't have Watkins in that game, meaning
Tate did play in that game.
Okay, he did. Well, then that throws out what I was going to say. But I was going to say that that would mean that we can put out more looks that the Buccaneers wouldn't be able to go back and watch from our, I think it was, what was it, like week 10 or something like that. They wouldn't be able to go back and watch that matchup because that's not, I mean, Sammy didn't play. But you get my point. Doesn't matter. Defense. I thought, I said for this game that what needed to happen for the Bills to win is Josh Allen has to have a really, really good game. And what do you know? Josh Allen didn't have a great game. He did have 88 yards rushing, which is impressive, but that's expected. Josh Allen had to have a good day throwing the ball. He didn't. He only completed 50% of his passes, 28 of 48, 287 yards, 2 touchdowns, but the interception, an ugly one as well. And there was plenty more that honestly could have been picked off that entire game. I think Snead got his hands on one. Thornhill got his hands on one. Even Ward got his hands on what could have been a pick. So not a very good day for Josh Allen.
You're not going to address the elephant in the room?
No, not yet.
I mean, Ward has brick hands, but other than that, the secondary was great.
I guess, okay, so you are referring to the Snead injury, right? Or you're referring to Clark?
That's not at all what I was referring to.
Okay, I wasn't sure. It just popped in my mind. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now since I just brought it up. L'Jarius Snead, he had the concussion towards the end of the game. It didn't look, I mean, as far as concussions go, he looked fine. He just looked really shaken up, just kind of got his bell rung, which, happens because he had fallen to the ground after jumping for a potential interception. But I mean, he'll have this entire week next week off, and then he'll have the week leading up to the Super Bowl. He should be fine. I expect him to pass concussion protocol, but at that point, we had a pretty big lead on the Bills, so they probably just played it safe with Snead anyways. Once he entered concussion protocol, they're like, yeah, we're pulling him out. So I think he'll be fine, but pass rush, the pass rush, I thought Chris Jones did a fantastic job today. Anthony Hitchens was our leading tackler. We blitzed a lot, got pressure on Josh Allen. L'Jarius Snead even had a sack today. I would like to point out L'Jarius Snead postseason sacks 2. Frank Clark, half. The reason I say half, coverage sack. That's right. Oh wait, he's listed as having 2 sacks. Did he have another one in garbage time? I don't know. But
no, he didn't. What? That doesn't make any sense. There's no way he had 2.
Yeah, this one lists him as having 2, so I'm not sure. Anyways, see, Frank Clark getting sacked today now kind of ruins my narrative that playoff Frank Clark was a complete no-show. But I'm willing. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm willing to bet he had a relatively low win rate for this game. And he also got destroyed on one of Allen's big runs, I remember. But Frank Clark, man, Frank Clark would have to have like a 7-sack, like he said, like a 7-sack DT type performance in the Super Bowl for me to take anything back that I've said about him all year long and really the past 2 years. But even at this point, like, even if he does that, like, I might just still hate him, dude. Like, both of us, we kind of dislike Charvarius Ward. But if Charvarius Ward had a lockdown performance in the Super Bowl, I might absolve everything I said about Charvarius Ward, if that makes sense. But Frank Clark, he might be too far gone at this point.
Well, it'd be one thing if Frank Clark was like playing on the salary that Taco Charlton's on.
Yeah.
But he's not. But he poured confetti on himself after the game, so he's so funny and relatable and likable. God, I hate him. He's such a waste of money.
I really wish we had allocated the funds better.
Whatever, we're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We can deal with that later.
Yeah, like I said, we'll definitely talk about it over the offseason, I'm sure. But like I said, like as long as you're winning the Super Bowl, it really doesn't matter. But I'm still, frustrated. It's okay to be frustrated. But yeah, I mean, the defense did a really good job today. I mean, they held the Bills to 363 total yards of offense. They had 129 rushing yards, but you have to take into account the fact that 75% of those rushing yards came from Josh Allen. And I mean, they kept him to 5 of 14 on third down, which is really good. And I will say, one of the things that our defense did today, which I think will kind of go untalked about, is our defense did a good enough job to where Sean McDermott and the Bills were scared to go for touchdowns and settled for field goals at points where the game could have been made a one-possession lead. Like, especially going into half there, they went for 3 instead of 7 and ended up making it, 21-12. That's right. That easily could have been 21-16, and then that's looking like a lot closer game. You don't know what happens after that. The defense did a great job, keeping the Bills on their toes, I thought.
And I mean, that's going to be really good next week. Like, one of the things you brought up was, I think you said 5 for 14 on third down or something.
Yeah.
Watching the Packers-Bucks game, the Packers held the Bucks on first and second, but they would always give up third down. And the fact that we have a good third down defense, that's going to be huge. And what was the most important part of the defense's game? Every play, somebody's blitzing. You don't know who it's going to be. Maybe it's Danny. Maybe it's Tyron. Maybe it's Chris off the edge for some reason. But there's always going to be someone in the quarterback's face. And when you're facing a 43-year-old statue, it's going to be very, very helpful.
See, Brady has not been good this year when he actually gets pressured. Yeah, or at all, really. But the thing we have going for us, we may have the best trio of defensive back blitzing defensive. I cannot talk. Blitzing defensive backs in the league. Dirty Dan, always been a good blitzer. Tyrann Mathieu, one of the best blitzers out of the safety position in the last decade, and L'Jarius Sneed, who has come on amazingly the last several weeks of the season and on blitzing the quarterback. I mean, he has like 4 sacks this year now, which is, I mean, there's some rotational defensive linemen in the league that would kill for those numbers.
Frank Clark.
But yeah, I mean, I think we should be, and the defensive line play, I think the Bucks have, I mean, would you say they have a comparable offensive line to the Bills?
I think they have. The Bucks have they have 2 really good linemen, but the rest is kind of meh. So I'd say the Bucks line is definitely better than the Bills. But I mean, if you're blitzing with a safety, I don't see what the line really has to do with it.
Yeah. It's just, if you can get pressure with 4, that's really good. But, if we have to blitz, we have to blitz, which is fine. I mean, the blitz is very effective today. It's not like Tom Brady is. Tom Brady hasn't been good this postseason. He hasn't. I mean,
postseason.
Let's not forget. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Throw that out there.
Yes. And like I was telling you earlier today, the 2018 AFC Championship game, Brady had a horrible game right before overtime. He had a horrible game. His QBR was in like the low 60s. He only had like 160 yards. He had an interception, maybe 2. I mean, he was bad in that game and got lucky. He was bad in the Super Bowl.
Tom Brady is the only, quote-unquote legendary quarterback whose stats get worse when he goes into the postseason. You hear about all these quarterbacks who are playoff chokers like Peyton, Aaron, or Drew, but their numbers get better when you go into the postseason. And then you hear about how fantastic Tom Brady is in the postseason, and his numbers get worse. So, not my GOAT.
Let's not forget this team had to win a dogfight over the Washington football team.
Oh yeah, they beat a team without a name and a fourth string quarterback.
Hey, Taylor
Great job,
Heineke.
Tommy.
He almost pulled off the upset.
The backup XFL quarterback. He wasn't even a starter in the XFL, and Tommy almost lost to him.
I mean, Tom Brady had 3 interceptions in this Green Bay game, right?
This is the second time that he's thrown 3 interceptions in a conference championship, and he's won both of them. That's not a reflection of how good he is. That's a reflection of how good his team is.
Yeah, if he pulls crap like that in the Super Bowl, the Bucs are not winning. I mean, there's just no way. You know this offense is going to capitalize off at least one of those turnovers.
And I feel like, who on that Bucs team really has Super Bowl experience? Brady, Gronk. That's about it. It's a whole different ballgame. The Chiefs were really lucky in the fact that their first Super Bowl appearance with this core was against the Niners, who I think their only Super Bowl veteran was like Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
So our guys have been there, done that. It's business as usual for them. But, the lights are so much brighter and, it's just so much bigger. And we've seen a lot of these coaches and players choke, and I could see Bruce Arians or some of the Bucs players easily choking.
I think one player you might be excluding from the Buccaneers group of players that have Super Bowl experience, and I could be wrong on this, and honestly, it's not that big of a deal, but I'm just curious. Was Jason Pierre-Paul on any of those Giants Super Bowl winning teams? Because I know he was on the Giants.
I think he might have been on the 2011 one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He has 3 fingers. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, too, is if he was, there's a pretty good chance Spags coached him and probably knows a lot of his tendencies and that sort of thing, which never hurts to have on the staff. And that's another thing. Steve Spagnuolo, undefeated against Brady in the Super Bowl, knows how to stop him. I think that was one of the big reasons we brought him in. Didn't end up needing him for the postseason to bring his knowledge about Brady, but that's something we have to fall back on. Is Spags is known to draw up schemes to stop this guy.
Well, yeah, I don't understand why it's so complicated stopping Tom Brady, because all you have to do to beat Brady is what Tom does is Tom hangs in the pocket and takes what you give him. And rinse and repeat until he wins a Super Bowl. And Spags is like, okay, old man, you want to play that game? I'm gonna send, I don't know, who is the safety on the Giants that he used to blitz? I don't know. I'm just gonna say Tyrann Mathieu. I'm gonna send Tyrann Mathieu into the box, and he's gonna light you up like a Christmas tree, so you're not gonna be able to hang in there and go through your progressions. And that's what you do to beat Brady. You make him uncomfortable. Look at what happened when Super Bowl 51. The Falcons harassed Brady the entire first half, and in the second half, they kept throwing incompletions, giving him the ball back, pass rush didn't get there, Brady came back and won the game. All you have to do is harass the old man and make him uncomfortable, and you win the game. It's not hard.
Well, and guess who else we have that can blitz pretty damn well that will probably be getting back for the Super Bowl?
Snead, I assume?
No. Well, that would make sense since he got hurt this game, but Willie Gay.
Yeah, you were talking about it earlier before we started recording. I don't know how it's going to feel for his first postseason game to be this Super Bowl, but...
Yeah, and that also makes me question how much Spags will be comfortable using him, because, I mean, like, what you've had so far to work with, the typical Neiman, Hitchens, Wilson, like, I mean, it's not like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I feel like that may keep Spags from giving Willie a chance, but I think he'll definitely play. I mean, let's be honest. Anytime you can get Neiman out of the game, it helps.
Super Bowl MVP Neiman.
No, never. Also,
6 on Tommy.
I'm wondering, can LDT, Lucas Niang, and Damian Williams by any chance opt back in for this game?
I wish, dude. That'd be really helpful.
I know. I would love to get some second opinions from them now, like if they were offered to come back, if they would accept it, although none of them are probably in Super Bowl shape, but it's fun to think about. Yeah, I mean, this matchup, another thing that will be interesting is how the Buccaneers defend Travis Kelce, who's on a complete tear, and Tyreek Hill, who had a career day against Carlton Davis last time. He had like 9 catches for 260 yards and like 3 touchdowns. And then they let their foot off the gas, right? And I mean, Tyreek easily could have had like the receiving record for that game, you know?
Oh yeah. Tyreek was just so dominant that game. And I mean, I feel like it's going to be more or less business as usual. And I think that's the mentality that at least the core members of the Chiefs have, you know. We're the best team in the NFL, and we're going to kick the crap out of anyone who stands in our way. You know, you were with me at the parade when Tyreek said, we're going to be right back here next year. I don't want to hear any excuses. We're going to be right back here. So cancel any plans that you have. And I believe that we are going to be right back there.
Yeah.
And
oh God, voice crack.
yeah,
I was
that swagger.
Yeah, and even if they don't have a parade due to some COVID stuff or whatever, which there's a good chance that might happen, I don't give a damn. I'm coming down there. We're gonna have our own parade starting at 1 Arrowhead Drive. Everyone be there.
All 12 of our viewers.
Yeah. I wanted to say though, so I listen to a lot of podcasts outside of ours, go figure, right? But one I listen to a lot is the Bill Simmons podcast. And he had an episode this past week previewing the championship games with Peter Schrager. And one thing Peter Schrager noted about the Buccaneers, and Peter Schrager says a lot of off-the-wall stuff, but for the most part, he's a pretty respected voice around the league, right? But he said that the Buccaneers defense, while it's very talented, makes a lot of mistakes. Like they're very, and they have an edge to them that sometimes hurts them, like getting unnecessary penalties and stuff like that. And they're just a very rambunctious group. I mean, a lot of those guys are under 25 years old, you know, Antoine Winfield, Carlton Davis, all those guys. It's a group that can easily be exposed if they're not ready.
Oh, yeah, and especially given the fact that we have, like I said, the best offensive trio ever, the greatest tight end of all time, and I think the secondary is kind of bad outside of Antoine Winfield Jr. is the only, like, good player, and, you know, the lights are going to be brighter than anything any of these players have ever experienced. Meanwhile, for Tyreek and Travis, it's just going to be business as usual. You know, they've been here, they're going to go do it again. Yeah, so I think we're definitely going to score a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, I'm unusually comfortable. I have a good feeling about this game, which, you know, I couldn't really say in the past. And I kind of felt that way today, too, heading into the Bills game, which it's just that it really speaks to how great this team really is. And I think this will be, you know, we already have a game to go off of from when we played the Bucs earlier this season. Like we have tape to go off of Spags and company to, you know, play a good game against Brady, have a good game plan. So I'm not worried about that. Really what the difference in this game will be is the Bucs D-line versus our very beat up offensive line. We only have one remaining starter from the year on the offensive line. And that is, or maybe it's 2. I depending on how you feel about Ryder and Kilgore. But I mean, point is our offensive line is very beat up. I think the offensive line will be fine. Yeah, the Bucs will probably get pressure in this game. Like you can probably put money down on that. They will. But you know, Mahomes is Mahomes, and I know that's a lame answer to give, but it's true. I mean, this team will be fine. I think Chiefs fans will have a good time watching this game.
We better win, dude.
Well, if we don't, the podcast is over, canceled, done. Everyone will have to move
on.
Yeah, move on. That's really all I have to say. I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Oh, it literally came out as we were recording. I don't know if you saw it, but My Sports Update tweeted, #Chiefs defensive end on if he has a message for Tom Brady. I don't have anything to say to him. I'll see his ass on Sunday at the Super Bowl. Frank, I hate to break it to you, but the Super Bowl isn't on Sunday. It's the Sunday after next Sunday. And I don't think he'll be seeing you at all, buddy, because you're trash. Yeah, so shut the hell up and let the good players do the talking.
They should drug test him.
What an idiot, dude. And he's going to be going up against Tristan Wirfs. Like, he couldn't do anything against Kendall Lamb last week. You think he's doing anything against Tristan Wirfs?
Dude, you ruined it. He was supposed to be the unnamed left tackle.
My bad.
And he also got flattened by Mekhi Becton of the Jets earlier this year, too. And so Clark has not had a great year against rookie left tackles.
He's just trash, dude.
He can't be saying that stuff. I remember sending you the tweet last year when he said something about, like, we're sending Derrick Henry's ass home early or something. And I was like, oh, no.
And then Chris Jones had to back it up.
He's all bark and no bite. Sounds like the perfect Jaguar this offseason.
Dude, Frank Clark would have been such a good member of Saxonville.
I know. Well, and he wouldn't be the one getting any of the sacks, though. But
he'd be like Ramsey saying, we're going to go to the Super Bowl and we going to win that bitch. And then they lose to Tom Brady in the conference championship because the refs said Miles Jack was down.
Wow.
Oh, God. I hate
Seems like so long ago. Well,
I know, dude.
Anything else you want to add?
Nope. I hate Tom Brady, and I hope we kick the crap out of him.
Well, without further ado.
Fabricated stories, but I would never hate you. Never. When I was on my ass, the niggas they never mentioned. A helping hand and knocked me down and put me on suspension. And now I got the bag.
We had the best rapping duo in the league. Bashaw, honestly speaking, like Le'Veon's, like I can listen to, like if you're like, okay, you only have this, like, if you could, I don't know. So if you offered me $1 million, let's say, but I could only listen to Le'Veon Bell's song for the rest of my life as far as music goes, I mean, I could take that, you know, but Bashaud Breeland, God, I mean, lay off the auto-tune, dude.
Oh my God. It's better than a whole lot of money.
Yeah. Should we have a rap battle session between the Bucks rappers and the Chiefs rappers?
Oh, please, no. Dude, a whole lot of money is so bad.
It's mesmerizingly bad, like I said. Like, it's just like, you know it's bad, but every once in a while you find yourself looking it up just so you can hear the whole lot of money, whole lot of, just to I don't even know how to explain it.
It's funny how, like, a few months before that video came out, he tweeted "No more white women," and then the background of his video is just a bunch of white women.
Yeah, just all of them. Oh, goodness, AB. Well, is AB going to be a factor in the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
Well, guess that remains to be seen. But actually, this time, anything else we need to add?
No. I don't think so.
All right. Well, I was thinking for a second there about playing a whole lot of money to end the podcast, but I think I've given you guys enough trash trap today. So that's all for today. Make sure to check out www.showmefootball.com for more. But that's it, guys. Peace.